Hey everybody, I thought I'd do a quick little progress video on my chamber polishing on these Edelbrock heads. I wanted to show you some more evidence that shows where you need to do a little more work. That stupid light I think might be messing me up. But once you start trying to actually polish with a cross-buff, if anybody don't know what that is, it's basically a Scotch-Brite ball that goes on your die grinders, and you can use them with or without lubricant, because I've done it both ways, and I can tell you, when you use lubricant like WD-40 or something like that, it's a huge mess. So I try to polish out aluminum and stuff without the lubricant. Here's a example of a brand new one. There's a brand new blue one. They come in blue, brown, and some other color. I'm not sure what the real fine ones are, but I have blue and reds, and you either have to wear them down to fit in the areas you need to polish, because believe it or not, these, when they're brand new, these little cross buffs, they won't even fit through the bowl opening on like small block Chevy exhaust seats. So the best way that I've found to work them down where you can make them fit is to run them on your die grinder up against your wire wheel while it's running, and just kind of eat off a little bit of that outside diameter until it fits what you want to work in. They do make smaller size cross buffs. Those are just cross buffs I had from a Standard Abrasive Deluxe porting kit, and they work really, really well. But I was going to show you this head. I've started the cross buff work on because I'm pretty happy with the way I blended that machinist ridge out. I may or may not try to mess with that a little bit more on this head because of the way I did my video. This chamber has a little bit of back up here. You see that kind of orange peely, kind of pit and valley look to that chamber. Part of that is porosity issues, and part of that's where I need to hit it with a double cut again and see if I can just get it a little bit flatter. But I'm getting a nice roll and polish into the seats. This head has not been cross buffed at all. This one's been double cut and 80 grit sanding rolled. But you can see, I mean, just doing the 80 grit, just taking all the texture out with the double cut burrs and 80 gritting those chambers, that alone makes a huge difference in texture. And you know, you can do a little shaping even with an 80 grit if you're patient. But this one right here is still a little fat. I call it the short side up here. See that little, you can't catch your fingernail on it, so it's got a nice roll to it, but I'd like to lower that just a little bit more. Just it's aesthetically pleasing to me when I can't see that. But I literally come around this seat, blend it into this, turn around. It's just, you know, common sense, what I call common sense smoothing, kind of straightening out some of the jagged edges that the machining process left in it, and getting it all worked out where you can polish it to a mirror or almost mirror finish. But like I said, just double cutting it and going 80 and then eventually 120 grit will polish up a chamber really nice, just in case you don't have cross buffs or don't want to spend that extra money to buy some. You can see where I've been cleaning the deck surface on these heads with that 180 grit long board. That is actually a trick I picked up from the Subaru community. It's the preferred method for basically when you do a head gasket replacement. You pull your head off Use just a flat, a brand new razor blade. Hold it at a 90-degree angle. Don't hold it at 45 where it'll cut. Scrape off all your existing gasket material and do a final surface finish with cross hatching with 180 grit emery paper on a longboard, like a flat board you'd use to do body work or something with. And it really does a good job, you know, cleaning up that surface and getting it ready for service again. So anyway, this is the texture I'm getting with my cross buff. This is the texture I get with only through 180 grit thus far. And I'll probably go with the 120, or I might hit it with the cross buff and just see. Because if you got a fairly new cross buff, it'll knock a lot of that off of there. So anyway, I just want to give you guys a little bit more information of what it looks like when you're in process of doing the chamber polishing on cylinder heads and the work that's involved. And I want to get these things done so I can start. Well, I'm going to go and wash them real good, because I wash everything several times before final assembly, because assembling a dirty engine, number one, is wrong, and number two, I just don't do business like that. Everything I do is always as clean as I can possibly get it. So anyway, I wanted to do a quick video while my air compressor was finally built back up with air pressure, and I had finished surface or working on these heads, getting the decks cleaned up, and I did a little bit of scribing on this Oldsmobile exhaust manifold I'm going to do a little bit of work on. But other than that, that's where we're at. We're going to get these heads final polished, take them and scrub them up real good, and start doing some measuring. I apologize to get these things final assembled. If you look at the chamber side of my spark plug holes, you don't see any more of those little, what I call saw blade points. Turned out what worked best was just taking a sanding roll and just hitting that hole, just sticking it down in that hole, and taking all them stupid saw blade points out on the chamber side to completely eliminate detonation points, like little glow plugs. But anyway, that's my Pontiac heads that are darn near ready for assembly, but I'm very OCD, and I admit it. It actually helps me when doing this kind of work. But I will go over these heads with a fine-tooth comb, and I always find something that I wish I'd have done a little better or need to clean up, because I just want to get it as good as I can so that the end result is the best it can be for the customer. So there we are on the Edelbrock heads. Got Oldsmobile stuff coming up. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys are getting ready to have a great weekend.